Yeah. Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a that's what they don't understand.
You know, when we talk about this college football season, we talk about what did you expect from your team when you were looking at it from the beginning of the season? Was your team going to be the offensive juggernaut that you actually thought that it was going to be? Or was it a defensive side of the ball, players that you thought were going to step up and make plays to make your defense to be a great team as you see it when the games play out? We're talking about like how you saw your teams from like the beginning of the season when you first saw your teams come out, especially in spring practice, and then from spring practice to fall camp, and then when they came out to the first game of the season, you know, your expectations for the season and how you saw them and what you thought that your team was going to be. Did it really pan out to exactly what you thought that your team was going to be? So when we take a look at this 2021 college football season, that we expect from Michigan to come out and beat Ohio State. You know, Michigan has lost the first 5 meetings against Ohio State and came out Saturday and got the victory. I'm actually excited for Coach Harbaugh, and I hope that his team can actually do good in the playoffs. Now, when we take a look at LSU and what they did this Saturday, especially in the game against Texas A&M, we're talking about a matchup that came down to the very last couple of plays of the game to mark the victory for this LSU football team that we weren't really expecting to happen. Now, when I go back and when I listened to Josh Pate on the Late Kick, he was saying that LSU, there were some problems there with Coach O, problems that were happening during the middle of the week. Now, when we talk about the middle of the week, we're talking about just activities and things that are going on with him, you know, that are behind the scenes, things that we can't see. So obviously there was a problem with Coach O and some things that he was doing. You know, but I actually was happy to see Coach O, you know, win an Natty and take this team as far as he did. I thought that Joe Burrow was a great quarterback. I think he's doing great things at Cincinnati. I really like the way this LSU program has this aura about it, especially when they play at night in Death Valley. And whoever the next coach is, I hope he comes in and he sets a standard at LSU and what they should be there when they play, because LSU should be competing for national titles and recruiting very well every single year, as we see all the time. Great running backs at LSU is what we're used to seeing. They need to bring that back. But when we take a look at this game right here, we're talking about the Georgia Bulldogs and how they annihilated Georgia Tech over the past weekend. All right. So right there, what are we seeing? Kenny McIntosh with a 59-yard TD rush against Georgia Tech. But when you take a look at the Georgia Tech defense of side of the ball, what you're seeing is guys up front that are basically NFL players. Not only on the defensive line, you're talking about guys that are linebackers that are stout, big, strong, that know how to play a physical, attacking style of football. And that's what you're seeing in Georgia right now. Georgia is doing a great job of putting these guys in a position to make plays all over the field. These guys stay in their gaps, they stay in their lanes, they know how to play sound football, and that's what you're seeing right now. You're seeing a national championship team. Now, they ain't been there since 1980, I believe, the last time they've been there. And so I'm actually hoping that Georgia can get through there. You know, it's going to be tough. You know, it's going to be tough really for anybody that plays Georgia. I shouldn't even say it. I should say it just like that because of the way this defense is playing. And Bennett is actually doing well. You know, how he played against Tennessee, he actually scrambled, he threw, he did everything possible to make that offense for Georgia electric as well. But when we talk about the SEC championship, which is going to be this weekend, 3 p.m., Georgia versus Alabama. And the reason why this clip is on here right now is just because of the discrepancy I'm seeing all over the board on this Alabama football team. I'm used to Nick Saban having a sound football team. And this year they had a young team, had a lot of guys go to the league. I understand that. But when you take a look at it, you got Bryce Young at the QB position, Mechie and some guys in running back. And you expect more out of all these 5 stars that Saban is bringing in, period. So we're going to see, though, how it pans out. I think that Georgia's defense is going to be pretty stout. But when we're moving on, let's go ahead and just move on, man, because I don't want to get too deep into it. But let me just say this. And let me go back to what I was saying at the beginning. How did your team pan out? Did your team live up to the expectations of what you thought that they were going to be when you started the season? Did everybody play the way that you thought, which probably didn't happen? But when you go back and look at the beginning of the season, especially the matchups, did you think that the teams that they played were as strong as they were or as weak as they were? But I'm going to tell you like this, man. Despite that, when you take a look at the college football playoff, you got Georgia number 1, Michigan at number 2, Cincinnati at number 3, and Alabama number 4. And then you go down to 5 and 6, Oklahoma State and Notre Dame. All right. So you got Georgia and Alabama playing this weekend. So somebody's going to be out. Now, I'm thinking that I'm not going to give my prediction or anything like that. I'm just going to say somebody's going to be out in that SEC bubble. But we don't even know that. I do not know that, to be honest with you. But you got some other championship games that are coming up this Saturday as well. You got a Big Ten championship. You got Michigan versus Iowa. They're playing at 7 p.m. That's Central Standard Time. All right. And then you got Oklahoma State versus Baylor. Also, they're playing at actually 11 a.m. All right. So that's going to be a pretty good game there. Oklahoma State, good game against Oklahoma. I don't know if you guys heard. If you know, we were talking about it earlier. Coach of Oklahoma is going to USC. That's kind of a shocker right there, because they asked him in a press conference, are you going to LSU? But really, he's going to USC. I think that's, Lincoln Riley? I think that's what his name is. I'm not a professional, man. I'm a fan just like you guys, So, but it is what it is, man. But let me say this real quick, man. Let me give some shout outs to WWL Sports, LSU Sports, Wheels.com, Bulldog Illustrated, Fox Sports, PSC Highlights, CBS, SEC for their highlights, because they are the ones who put in the work to make this show go. All right, guys. I appreciate you guys joining me on Sports Talk Unplugged. I'm your host, William Allen, man. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Hit that like button. Subscribe. Appreciate you guys. Holler at a player when you see me in the street. All right? Peace.
Thank you.